I would like to call the March 23rd, 2023 Committee of the Whole meeting to order at 6:38 PM. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Here.
Mayor Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Doherty?
Here.
Mr. Burchett?
Here.
Mrs. Witt?
Here.
Ms. Marcus?
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Ms. Marcus from this meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes. Council has received a copy of the March 9th, 2023 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Okay, we'll go right into topics of discussion. Finance Director,
No report, thank you.
City Manager.
Yes, thank you. The only item I have is I wanted to make sure that there is support from council to be able to get an appraisal on another residential property that we've owned for quite a while that's run down. That's 4510 Venetian Way. You will recall that maybe 2 weeks ago or so, the approval was given for 3612 Beach Grove. Both of these, so that one is in the appraisal process. Venetian Way was one of the homes that was initially part of the auction, but unfortunately it didn't fall through to a closing. I've had 2 inquiries on the home in the last week, and the appraisal process or cost is roughly $500. There is money in the city manager's budget to do that. I just wanted to make sure that council was okay if we went ahead and got it appraised. We have the ability, for clarification, to sell property, but we must have an appraised value on the property to be able to sell it outside of an auction. Is everybody okay with that? All right. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay. Mayor,
I have no report, thank you.
Law Director,
No report, thank you.
Clerk of Council.
No report, thank you.
Okay, I guess we will go into business. Thank you. Purchase of John Deere Gator.
Yes, thank you. Rick, our acting superintendent, is here, but I'll take a quick stab at it, and maybe he can pick up anything I leave out. How's that sound, Rick? Does that sound okay? All right, so essentially, this Gator request is not a budgeted item. However, we have the ability to use existing 2023 budget dollars to make this acquisition. Superintendent Dunn brought this to my attention and to the finance director to see if there was the ability to do this, and I know the finance director will be talking about the transfers up next. Ultimately, you'll recall that at the last meeting, we passed some legislation for some trucks for the street department, and they were able to find those actually on the lot, and they rescinded prior legislation from January. In doing that, we saved quite a bit of money. When they take the money that was saved from the trucks, they take the money that is saved from the radios that were purchased, and also the street vac. There is a remaining capital fund balance when you look at all the line item capital funds of about $28,000. Mr. Dunn had shared that in talking to John Deere, they indicated that soon the state bid pricing for a Gator is going to increase to the neighborhood of $36,000 to $38,000. They currently have one available for $27,747. And then if you look at the paperwork that was provided in the packet, they're willing, this isn't much, it doesn't seem like, but they're willing to give us $900 for a trade-in value on our 23-year-old Gator, which would bring the request price down to $26,847. So there is enough money in the existing fund balances within capital of the street division to make this purchase. And if you authorize the legislation this evening, it would very well probably save us upwards of $10,000 versus having this as a 2024 capital request. Again, this doesn't take any supplemental legislation to the budget to be able to make the acquisition. It's just about some transferring of existing funds. And again, the finance director will handle that topic. I don't know, Rick, would you like to add anything that I've said?
John Deere hasn't John Deere hasn't updated the state bid on these gators in over 2.5 years, so we're still going off a 2.5-year-old pricing. So that's why they they expect it at any time to change, and that's why this price is so much lower than what it will be.
Okay.
Very well-used machine. So,
Thank you. And also, you may have seen it in the packet, our mechanics have indicated that there's over $2,000 worth of repairs needed for the 23-year-old Gator. That's another reason why, again, Streets is looking to take advantage of the existing dollars that are in their capital improvement.
So the repairs won't be made, it'll be traded in as is.
It'll be traded in as is, and then, again, we would acquire it a year earlier and hopefully save us $8,000 to $10,000 in doing so.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and have legislation prepared to buy the new John Deere at a price of, it'll be $26,847.
$847.
Yeah. Okay.
Motion. Okay.
Oh, you made the motion. You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Darty?
Yes. Okay, capital fund transfers. Mr. Buchek.
The city manager explained it pretty well. There are 3 line items here that have some leftover balances, which we can use for the Gator. So there's leftover money from the radios, from the pickup trucks, and for the leaf collection equipment. And so we're requesting capital fund transfers within the street department budget of a total of $27,000 to be able to make the purchase.
Do we need a resolution? Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's a request
I
for,
have a resolution prepared to have the capital fund transfers done
Okay.
for the Gator.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Okay, you've heard the motion. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Darty?
Yes. Contract award, 2023 roadway crack sealing program.
Yes, it's one I've put in there. This is the next area of our street maintenance program, the crack sealing. The engineer estimated $50,000 would be needed for that program this year. On Friday, March 3rd, we received 4 bids from a number of companies. And we are looking to see if we can move forward with the awarding of that contract to Scodeller Construction, Inc. They came in as the apparent low bidder at $43,520 for that. I did include in your packet a listing of the streets that would be covered by this year's program, so if you wanted to review that, we could, but I think that it does a pretty good job for us there. So with regards to that, we are looking to see if we can ask for a resolution accepting the proposal and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Scodeller Construction, Inc. For this year's crack sealing program.
Motion that we have legislation approved for the 2023 road crack sealing program with Scodeller Construction for the amount of $43,520.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Darty?
Yes. Okay, our final one, contract award, the MOT South Dixie Drive resurfacing project.
Yes, that's another project that's been coming through the pipeline for a couple of years now with a lot of work and grant research in the past couple of years. So now this has come up for the project for the year. We put a bid out earlier and received bids from 2 companies, Jurgensen and Barrett Paving, on March 3rd. Engineer's estimate for this work was $358,562.59. Both bids did come in below that, but we feel that the work that Jurgensen has been doing in the past for us and being low bid warrants that they should be awarded this project. The project consists of pavement repair, planing, and resurfacing of the roadway of South Dixie from 741 up through West Stroop Drive, and that includes striping and utility adjustments as well, anything that's needed for those things. So again, we're looking just for a resolution accepting the proposal from John R. Jurgensen for the South Dixie resurfacing project in the amount of $284,622, and allowing the city manager to execute that contract.
I'll make
I make
a,
a-
oh, go ahead, Laura.
I make a motion that the necessary legislation be prepared to accept this bid from John J. Jurgensen Company for the South Dixie improvement.
You've heard the motion. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Darty?
Yes. That concludes tonight's business. I would ask if there's anyone that would like to address council, but looks a
Empty
little.
house.
We'll take the one on the right side of Matt and the one on the left side of Matt.
We'll go, seeing none, we'll go into staff and council reports. Fire department,
No report, thank you, sir.
police department.
No report, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go, find you on there. Parks and Rec.
No, he left.
Oh, he's gone. Building maintenance.
Nothing to report, sir, thank you.
Okay, community development.
Nothing else reported, so thank you for moving those contracts forward.
Streets. Okay, clerk of council,
Nothing, thank you.
city manager.
I have nothing, but I'm going to ask a question of Rocky. Rocky, can you share with council, is there the possibility of the architect to come and maybe share what the renovations of the city building would be like at a future meeting? I've had a few council members inquire if that was a possibility. for
Yes,
them
sir,
to come and kind
and
of provide a layout.
Yeah, we are working on that. We have some renderings coming back that we're planning on presenting to you guys.
Great.
To where you guys can actually kind of visualize and see what the scope of this is kind of going to look like. And we're just waiting on those to come back.
Perfect.
And we should be heading your way really soon.
Thank you, Rocky.
Great, thank you. Okay. Law director,
No report, thank you.
finance director.
Just to give council an update, we have sent out a lot of letters after the action was taken to join the Attorney General's office for a collection. And so that's actually had a very good result. So people have been responding, and so that's it's nice. It's been helpful to have that tool in our toolbox for income tax, and so we are busy with that. And also, we are very busy at the window, as well as on the phones and email, and people are filing online as well. So we encourage people to have their things, have their income tax returns filed soon, to not miss the April 18th deadline, and it just helps all of us if everyone can be a little more proactive and not wait until the last minute. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Mrs. Allen,
No report, thank you.
Mrs. Witt,
Nothing, thank you.
Mayor Murphy,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Miller,
No report. Thank you, Randy.
Burchett.
No report. Thank you.
Okay, and I have nothing, so that concludes the committee of the whole meeting this evening. We will adjourn this meeting at 6:53 PM.